Archangel Michael is crying loudly because you always skip him. This is not joke. You will never be the same after knowing what this person confess. Open it immediately. Archangel Michael says, I stood beside you when the world walked away, but now I am kneeling because you kept skipping my messages. He cries not from weakness but from the weight of everything you're about to find out. This is not a riddle, not a warning, not a myth. This is what someone has confessed behind your back, and it will change your life permanently. Here's something cold happening in the air around you and your spirit knows it. That uneasy feeling lately isn't just stress. It's a signal, a divine warning. The final countdown before everything you thought was real begins to shift. Because somewhere not far from you, a person has cracked open the truth and they cried the moment your name was mentioned. You will never look at them the same way after this. They've hidden it for so long, but it finally came out last night when the guilt became too loud to silence. They spoke in whispers, but the walls heard it. The winds carried it, and now it has reached the ears of heaven. Comment below if your chest feels tight while reading this. That's not fear. That's your soul remembering something it always knew would be exposed. Archangel Michael says, when I tell you I wept for you, it's because you trusted someone who kept a knife behind their apology. They smiled at you while lying to others about what you did. And now they are trembling because they didn't expect their confession to come out so soon. This person saw your light and tried to dim it with their tongue, but their words boomeranged and the poison they released is now swallowing their peace. They blamed you for things they did. And now the truth is leaking into every corner of their life. They said, I never meant for it to go this far, but they kept going. They told someone, I only did it because I was jealous, but jealousy doesn't undo betrayal. You were loyal to them in ways they never deserved. They cried not out of love, but from fear. Fear of what will happen once you find out. Because it's not just betrayal. They involved others twisting your name, using your story like a weapon. They sat in rooms where your name was spat on and instead of stopping it, they added fuel. And now those rooms are being exposed. Every lie they told is returning. And this time you're not the one bleeding. This time the universe is drawing the curtain open. They recorded your worst moments and sent them to someone. Someone you thought would never see you like that. They said, let's just see what happens. Laughing at your pain. They didn't just talk. They planted seeds. Seeds of mistrust, confusion, guilt. But something strange happened. The soul rejected. It all started on that one night. A night when you weren't even thinking about them. But they were watching you, thinking, planning. They said your name out loud in a place where your presence was hated. And they didn't defend you. They let your silence become an excuse for others to blame you. Someone close to them asked, why are you doing this to them? They replied, because if I can't have peace, neither should they. And from that moment on, the heavens recorded everything. That's why Archangel Michael is crying now. Because the one you protected has handed your image to darkness, and you didn't even know it was happening. The angels saw you praying for this person. They watched you give even when you had nothing left. You stood up for them, never knowing they were tearing you down in your absence. They told someone else, I wish I could take it back. But you can't unburn a house once it's ashes. They confessed last night to a third party, someone you don't even know. That person was shocked. They said, I thought they were the loyal one, but loyalty wears no mask. It reveals itself in the hardest times. Your name was written in a list of people to blame just to protect their image. They let you take the fall, but their confession slipped out in a moment of panic. They were shaking when they said it because they knew the truth would soon come to you. And now you're reading this and the puzzle pieces are falling into place. Your dreams recently, they weren't just dreams. A face you saw, a voice that warned you, that was divine intervention trying to reach you before it got worse. Now their guilt is eating them alive. They see your face in places they thought they'd never see again. Your voice haunts their peace. Your silence burns more than any words. One person who heard the confession said, "You need to tell them before they find out." But they were too afraid because once you know, you'll never go back. They tried to rewrite your story in their favor. But heaven wrote it in stone already. No lie can edit what is protected by divine order. Their confession revealed that it wasn't just words. They acted on the lies. They tried to ruin your opportunities, cancel your blessings, slow your momentum. And yet here you are, still rising, still breathing, still becoming. You are the miracle their darkness couldn't break. Now their world is crumbling. They fear your strength more than your revenge because you carry something that exposes them without a word. Light. Their face will change when they see you again. They won't be able to make eye contact. They'll smile, but their hands will tremble. And someone who knows everything will approach you soon. They'll say a name that makes your heart freeze. And in that moment, you will remember this message. You may have been skipped by many, but heaven never skipped you. Even when you cried alone, your tears were currency in the spirit realm. This isn't the end. This is your confirmation. The story is shifting now. And justice is not a maybe. It's already in motion. This person confessed something you must prepare to hear from someone else's lips. They said, "I hope they never find out it was me." But truth doesn't stay buried, especially when it's dripping in guilt. If your heart is pounding now, it's because your soul is aligning with what's being revealed. Everything you suspected was right. You just didn't have the proof until now. The voice in your spirit that kept warning you wasn't paranoia. It was protection. You were never meant to drown in someone else's damage. Watch how everything starts aligning this week. People will reveal more by mistake than they ever would on purpose. Pay attention to conversations, silence, timing. One message, one name, and it all comes full circle. You will remember who you are, and they will remember what they did. The crying of Archangel Michael isn't about sorrow. It's about release. Because now you finally know. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Now move forward not with anger but with clarity, because the one who skipped you will soon regret it forever. And the truth they hid is the key to your next miracle. Their confession didn't stop with one sentence. It turned into a flood. They started talking about how you always get away with everything. But what they meant was you kept rising despite what they did. They couldn't take it anymore. And that's why they poured everything out. This person used your kindness as a weakness. They whispered to others that you were too emotional, too dramatic, when in truth they feared your insight because you saw through things without needing evidence, and that terrified them. In their confession, they mentioned a time you trusted them with something fragile. They turned it into a joke. They left behind your back just to feel bigger than you. They regret it now, but regret doesn't erase damage. It only exposes it. They broke something sacred. And that's why the angels are now revealing it to you. The moment they cried, they realized you had become untouchable. They said, "I didn't think they'd bounce back, but you did, and that's what's haunting them." Archangel Michael says, your name was protected even when their mouths tried to bury it. The truth you were never supposed to hear has finally reached the heavens, and now it's time for it to reach you. This isn't revenge. It's divine restoration. A person they confessed to. They were stunned because they believed the lies for so long until they saw the confession in tears. And now people are turning. They're realizing you weren't the you were the lesson. You were the mirror. They tried to shut doors on you. But what's ordained can never be delayed. You'll walk through bigger gates now because the betrayal set you up for blessings. If you felt pressure in your chest lately, it's because your soul is expanding. It's preparing for the truth to enter. Not to destroy you, but to set you free. The confession wasn't just about one thing. It involved multiple people, some of whom you still talk to unaware of their role in the scheme. They kept messages to reach out accordings. They created a folder with your name on it, hoping to use it if necessary. Now they fear that folder because it holds proof, but not of your flaws, of their obsession. Their lies are traceable now and the truth is surfacing fast. The angels say they planned something big against you on a specific date, but that date came and you didn't fall. Instead, you rose. Someone helped them do it. Someone with a familiar face. You may have called them family or best friend. That's what broke Archangel Michael. He stood by as you smiled with your betrayer. And now it's time you know what they said about you on the night you were asleep. They said they deserve this. They think they are too good. And they laughed. But the next day their world began crumbling and they felt the shift. You're not imagining the changes around you. The energy is real because the confession awakened a chain reaction in the spiritual realm. Everything they tried to block from you is now magnetically drawn to you. Because the truth once spoken cannot be unspoken. And their mouth opened the door to your destiny. They never thought you'd find out. But the universe doesn't operate on silence. It delivers truth with divine timing. You started noticing the signs, unexpected messages, strange dreams, sudden memories. That's your spirit aligning with the confession. You're remembering who you are. They said, "I just wanted them to hurt a little." But your pain turned into power. And now they're the one who's breaking. You may feel the urge to confront them, but you won't mean to because heaven is bringing the truth to your doorstep through someone unexpected. Their confession didn't stay private. They've reached ears that knew you. And now those ears are talking. There will be a moment soon when someone slips up in front of you. A name will be mentioned. A reaction will expose what they were hiding. And you'll finally know it wasn't in your head. It was a spiritual setup for divine exposure. You weren't skipped. You were being saved. From people who celebrated your downfall too early. Your glow dimmed for a while, but only to recharge. Because now your light is blinding, and those who watched you suffer must now watch you succeed. Archangel Michael says, your tears were not in vain. They were recorded, collected, and turned into weapons of truth. And now those weapons are moving. Everything in their life is unraveling because they confessed the truth, but not to you. They confessed it to someone who couldn't keep quiet. And that person, they feel guilty for staying silent too long. That's why they are about to speak up. Don't be shocked when the truth arrives in waves. It may hurt, but it will heal because healing never comes without revelation. They underestimated your strength. They thought you were breakable, but now they're broken by their own lies. You are not the person they described to others. You're not the story they told. You're the one who survived their storm, and now someone important is watching you. A person who was once on their side is switching sides because truth always wins. You receive an apology soon, but not the kind that makes things better. The kind that confirms everything you suspected. And when it comes, breathe. You're not who you were when they tried to hurt you. You've evolved, elevated, and escaped. Let the confession burn what needs to be burned. Let it clear space for your next chapter, because what's ahead is far greater than what you lost. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. You're not alone. The Archangel cries not because you're weak, but because you're finally strong enough to hear the truth. And once you do, your life will never be the same again. The moment you finish reading this, the energy will shift again. A rebirth of your name, your soul, and your legacy. You are about to walk into spaces where your name was once ridiculed. But now it will be respected because the people who heard the confession, they now see you in a completely new light. You were once blamed in rooms you never even entered. Now those rooms are becoming silent. Your presence without speaking is louder than every lie they ever told. They confessed everything under pressure. It wasn't because they wanted to be honest. It was because the guilt became too loud. They couldn't sleep. They couldn't eat. They couldn't pretend anymore. And when they finally admitted what they did to you, they broke. They collapsed into their own storm. Because deep down, they knew you were never the one to deserve any of it. You'll hear their words come back to you in strange ways. Psalms, messages, numbers, dreams. This is not coincidence. It's alignment, it's divine timing, it's evidence. You are not required to fix anything. You are only required to receive. Let truth deliver the closure they never gave you. The energy around your name is now becoming sacred. His being were written in the heavens. What they tried to stain, God is now cleansing in full view of everyone. You've been walking with heavy silence. But now that silence is being lifted because your story was never meant to end in betrayal. It was meant to rise in glory. People will try to come back once they see the shift. They'll want to align with you again, but you'll feel the truth in your spirit this time. You'll know who's real. They confessed one more thing that will reach you very soon. They admitted they didn't just lie once. They made it a pattern. They made it a game. This game cost them more than they expected. Because now they are the ones being judged. They became what they accuse you of being. You have no reason to carry the pain anymore. That weight isn't yours. You were chosen to break free from this generational betrayal. They tried to mirror your kindness and call it manipulation. But kindness can't be faked. And yours came from the purest place. You'll feel Archangel Michael near you this week. Maybe through a breeze. Maybe through a stranger's words. Maybe through a dream. He'll whisper what they said word for word. He's not crying anymore out of sadness. Now his tears are tears of release. Because you didn't break. You ascended. Their confession unlocked more than secrets. It unlocked your blessings. Every stolen opportunity is now returning multiplied. Those who sided against you, they are now confused, shaken, waking up to the lies they believe. They'll look at you with silent regret. And you'll walk away with peace because you know who you are now, they said. I just didn't want them to succeed before me. But your success was never theirs to delay. Your journey is divinely timed. Someone who knew everything all along will finally tell you. They'll say, I was scared to say this, but I need to clear my heart. And in that moment, you'll see every lie collapse like blasts. This is what healing really looks like. Not pretty, not soft, but honest. You are healing with truth, not illusion. Archangel Michael says, let this be your turning point, not your destruction, but your deliverance. You were never meant to stay in the shadows of their deception. You are going to be asked about your version soon. People will want to know what really happened, and your silence will speak louder than stories. Your glow, your grace, your presence, it's all evidence of what you survived. They can't fake that. They can't copy that. Let them confess. Let them spiral. Let them sit in what they created. You are free. And that freedom is louder than revenge. They may never say sorry the way you deserve, but they are already paying in ways you will never see because their peace is gone. They now live in fear of the truth reaching the wrong ears. But the truth doesn't care who hears it anymore. He wants freedom. He wants light. Your name will be cleared by hands you don't even know. It's the beauty of divine justice. You don't need to fight. It's already done. You are entering a new chapter. One that has no room for lies. Only peace. Only truth. Only power. If you feel heavy now, breathe. This is the weight leaving your spirit. You've carried their shame too long. Now that they've confessed, let them carry it. It was never yours. You are not broken. You are broken open. And from that opening, light is pouring out. You are the one who survived what was meant to destroy you. Everything is aligning. Everything is happening. Everything they tried to block is coming to you faster than ever. This is your confirmation. This is your message. This is your proof. Archangel Michael stood by you the entire time. Even when you couldn't see him, even when you skip his whispers, he says, now you're ready. Ready for truth. Ready for glory. The confession has been made. The truth has spoken and you are free. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. You are not who they said you were. You are who heaven always knew you were. Chosen, protected, unstoppable. The moment of your rising has finally come. The final part of the confession wasn't just about what they said. It's about what they planned. Plans that were intended to trap you, expose you, and emotionally break you. But something shifted. The trap was reversed. They walked right into the pit they dug for you. Someone recorded their conversation not out of malice but out of guilt. That recording is in the hands of someone you least expect. They are holding it thinking about what to do because the voice on that recording is undeniable. It's them. It's the liar. A betrayer. The one who smiled while stabbing. They said things that you never imagined would leave their mouth. Things you would have defended them against if someone else had said it. But this time it's real and it's recorded. This will read you through someone connected to both of you. They've been silent for too long. But this confession has become too heavy to carry. You'll know it when it happens. You'll hear a phrase, a specific sentence that chills your spine. It will match something you read here, and that's how you'll know. They said your success bothered them. They watched your wins and whispered, "Why not me?" Instead of celebrating you, they started resenting you. But your blessings came from struggle, pain, prayer. They wanted the crown but not the sacrifice. And when they couldn't compete, they tried to destroy. The confession also revealed the real reason they distanced themselves. It wasn't random. They were scared of being found out. So they started acting cold, pretending you changed, blaming you when in truth they were hiding what they'd done. Someone in their family knows about it, too. They even tried to talk them out of it before it got this far, but pride silenced wisdom. And now everything is exposed. They tried to delay your future with one lie. But that lie has cost them everything. Because you can't curse what heaven has chosen. Your name was brought up in a group chat recently. They tried to joke again. But one person stood up and said, "We're not doing this anymore." That's how it starts. The shift. The people who laughed with them are now uncomfortable. The energy has changed. Their influence is fading. You'll see one person detach from their side. Someone who once believed every lie. Now they're realizing you were never the problem. Archangel Michael says, you are walking into a season of divine reversal. Those who threw stones will now trip over their own. Those who pointed fingers will now point at themselves. Every attempt to silence you will now amplify your voice. Every door they tried to close will now swim wide open. Every blessing delayed is coming double. You will dream of them soon, not in fear, but in clarity. You will see them lost, wandering, searching for peace. Because peace left when truth entered, and truth has a way of rearranging everything. The universe is now rearranging on your behalf. They confess to having feelings they never admitted. Jealousy, insecurity, competition. You weren't the enemy. They were battling themselves. You'll feel moments of anger when you find out everything. That's natural. But don't stay there. The truth didn't come to cage you. It came to free you. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove anything. Your glow is your evidence. Every lie spoken is now crumbling under the weight of divine justice. And the most painful truth of all, they knew better. But they still chose betrayal. Now they're praying for you not to find out everything. But the truth is already out, not in chaos. But in confirmation, you're not just healing from this. You're being promoted through it. Because betrayal always precedes elevation. And your elevation has already begun. Expect a phone call. Expect a message. Expect a whisper that changes your entire view. You may cry. You may shake, but then you'll rise because now you know everything. This final part of the confession, it proves you were never crazy. You were always chosen. Always right to feel what you felt. Now it's time to walk in freedom. Let them carry the weight of what they did. Let heaven handle the rest. Archangel Michael has stopped crying now because your strength returned, because your truth has found you, because you didn't skip this time. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. Now that the truth has been uncovered, everything is changing behind the scenes. The energy that once protected the liar is falling apart. They are now exposed in places they once controlled. The confession you didn't hear in person is already reshaping your timeline, because every hidden word carries weight and their words have reached divine ears. The heavens have turned their gaze toward justice. That person is no longer sleeping well. Every night they replay what they said, who heard it, and what will happen next. Their conscience is screaming louder than any voice around them. Someone you barely speak to knows the full story now. They didn't ask for it, but it was handed to them. And now they carry the burden of knowing what was done to you in the dark. Their hands are trembling because they see you walking in purity while others try to stain your character, and guilt is heavy, especially when it carries your name. This week, a shift in people's behavior will speak volumes. Some will suddenly grow distant. Some will act overly friendly, trying to cover tracks. Watch their eyes. The truth lies in eye contact. Guilt can't hold your gaze. They know what they've done. They know what was said. And they know it's too late to undo it. Archangel Michael says, there is no hiding from what is written, and your name was written in light, not in rumor. No attempt to erase. You can succeed anymore. You will be given a chance soon to confront the truth without asking for it. Someone will mention a detail only a liar would know. That's your confirmation. Don't respond with fury. Respond with silence. Your silence is thunder now. Because those who once mocked you are now terrified of what you might say. Their illusion of control has shattered. And in its place, truth stands tall. You are rising not just spiritually, but visibly. People who ignored you will now stare, not out of love but out of realization. Realization that they followed a mask. And now the mask is slipping. The person they trusted is the one who betrayed the light. There is a letter, a text, a note, something they wrote but never sent. It holds their full confession unfiltered. That letter will be found. Someone will screenshot it. Someone will forward it. And you will know you were always right. Even when they made you doubt yourself. They told people they'll never find out. But the universe doesn't work that way. The light always breaks through. They are trying to delete evidence now. Gray steps, unsend messages, but it's too late. What's spoken cannot be undone. And someone kept receipts, not to expose, but to protect, because they knew a day would come when you would need the truth. You are walking into that day now. Step by step, you'll feel the clarity washing over you. Every moment you second-guessed yourself will be healed. Archangel Michael has wiped his tears. Not because it's over, but because you are stepping into power. The divine is clearing your path, removing every stone they placed. What they did in shadows has been seen in full light. Not by people, but by realms. And justice in realms is deeper than anything physical. Their opportunities are now slipping. Their luck is fading because betrayal carries a prize. You paid with heartbreak. They will pay with consequences. and heaven will balance the scale. Expect a strange apology soon. Not sincere, not full, but panicked, rushed, forced. It will come with nervous energy. A text late at night. A message that says, "I just wanted to say sorry." If you ever felt hurt, they won't admit the full truth. But that message confirms everything because only guilt writes like that. Don't reply. Let your silence speak. Let the angels handle what was once your burden. They laughed at your intuition. Now they fear it because you knew long before they confessed. The walls are whispering now. Rooms where your name was smeared are filled with quiet regret. No one wants to be caught in the storm they created. And the storm is here, but not for you. It's for them. Because divine storms cleanse and rebuild. They remove what is fake. They leave behind only what's real. You are what's real, your heart, your loyalty, your truth. And that's why everything stolen from you is returning one by one. People who distance themselves are watching you from a distance now. They want to come back, but they don't know how. Let them wonder. Let them stay where they are because not everyone deserves to be close to your new version. You're not who you were when they hurt you. You're stronger now. You're protected now. Archangel Michael says, your destiny cannot be delayed by deception. What was meant for you still belongs to you, and the time has come to receive it. Their confession lit the fuse. And now your miracle is exploding into motion faster than they ever expected. They whispered, they'll never rise after this. But you rose higher. You rose in silence. Now speak no revenge. Speak no anger. Just walk in power. Because the final part of this story is already written, clears throat, and in the end you win. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Now that everything is out, the silence around your name has become powerful. Not because people don't know what happened anymore, but because they are ashamed they didn't see it sooner. They watched you suffer and stayed quiet. And now they are facing their own reflection. I can't unhear the confession. They can't unsee the messages. They can't undo the damage they let happen. The very person who started it all is now isolated. Their own circle has begun to pull away. Not because they are angry, but because they now see who they truly are. Archangel Michael says, when the truth walks into the room, every shadow must leave. And you are now the truth walking upright, graceful, and awakened. You are not broken. You are being built. Expect someone to message you not to apologize, but to check in. It will feel out of place, but they are testing the waters, hoping you don't know what was said. You will feel it in their words. A guilt, the hesitation, the silence between their sentences. This person never expected you to find your light after everything. They were betting on your silence. They never planned for your glow up. The same ones who mocked your intuition are now following your moves in secret, watching your stories, reading your words, copying your energy. But they can't replicate the truth because truth has a frequency. And your frequency is too high to be fake. That's why they feel exposed even when you say nothing. Someone else is about to expose them without realizing it. They'll casually mention a detail in a conversation and the reaction in the room will be undeniable. Eyes will shift. People will go quiet. And you will feel the shift in real time. You never had to fight for your name. Your energy did that. Your survival did that. Your peace did that. You're being watched by someone important now. Someone who once believed the lies but is seeing you for who you really are. They are in a position to bless you, and they will, because what they now know has changed everything. You are not just a story. You are evidence, living, walking, breathing proof of divine favor. This is what happens when heaven reveals what hell tried to cover. Your steps are now ordered, and their chaos cannot follow you into this new season. The person who confessed didn't just reveal words. They revealed intention. Your intention was to hurt you. And that's what turned the tables. Heaven responds not just to pain but to purity. And your heart stayed clean, even in betrayal. That's why everything is coming back to you multiplied. There's a new connection entering your life soon. Someone sent by divine timing. They won't come with noise. They'll come with calm. They will speak the truth, not try to manipulate it. They will recognize your story without needing all the details, because they've been through it, too. You'll feel safe in ways you forgot were possible. You'll remember what it feels like to be seen for real, because your eyes no longer hold pain. They hold power. Every opportunity that passed you by because of the lies, it's circling back now, but better and with better alignment. The same mouths that slandered your name are now praying for your silence. But your silence isn't weakness. It's wisdom. Because you don't fight small battles anymore. Your path is clearing. Doors are opening. And the people who once shut them are now standing outside. They thought they buried you with words, but they didn't know you were a seed, and now you've grown. Expect whispers to turn into public truth. Expect apologies to come from places you least expect. Expect justice, not in secret, but in front of every eye that ever doubted you. They said they'll fall when I walk away. But instead, you stood taller, and now they regret walking. Archangel Michael says, your tears watered the garden that they now envy. Let them watch. Let them sit in what they created. Because now you're harvesting joy. You're stepping into things you once only dreamed of. And no confession can cancel what was written in your name. You are walking proof that divine timing is real. That karma moves in silence, and that truth never stays hidden forever. Their mask fell, and what's left behind is panic. But you're rising in perfect peace. This is not just your comeback. This is your breakthrough. This is your reward for holding on when everyone let go. Don't respond to the drama that's still trying to pull you back. Let it spin. Let it crumble without you. You've passed the test. The angels are rejoicing. Archangel Michael is standing with pride now, not sorrow. His tears are no longer cries, they are praise. Because you chose light when you could have chosen revenge. And light always wins. This is your winning season. And every confession made in secret will now be the reason you shine in public. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. You're no longer walking toward the truth. It's walking toward you. And it's not coming alone. It's bringing restoration, honor, and rewards with it. Those who doubted you are now doubting themselves, because everything they believed about you is falling apart. They're remembering your silence, your kindness, and wondering how they missed the signs. There's a shift in the spiritual realm that you may feel in your body. A sudden lightness in your chest. That's the burden leaving because the lie has lost its power. A one who confessed thought it would make them feel free, but instead it created chaos because the truth they released was heavier than they imagined. They've opened a door they can't close. And what's pouring through that door now is divine recompense for you. Everything that was stolen is being returned in full view. Expect people to approach you awkwardly. They may smile too much, avoid eye contact, or over-explain things. They're not being kind. They're being careful because your glow terrifies people who thrived in your darkness. You've risen from places they assumed would bury you, and now they're uncomfortable in your presence. Archangel Michael says, I was crying because you were still giving love to those who wanted to see you fall, but now you've stopped feeding what drains you. And that shift has ignited a wildfire of divine favor around you. What once blocked you is now beneath you. You've climbed higher than the gossip, the betrayal, the masks, and now you see everything clearly. A confession wasn't just words. It was an unveiling. It unmasked not just one person, but the entire structure they built around your name. False friendships, fake loyalty, performative kindness. It's all been revealed. You don't owe anyone a response. Let them sit in the weight of what they did. Let the silence echo in the space where their lies once lived. There's someone watching you now with admiration and guilt. They knew what was happening, but they stayed silent to protect themselves. Now they wish they hadn't. They wish they had spoken up for you, and they are looking for a way back into your presence. Don't rush to let them in. Your spirit will know who comes with truth and who comes with strategy. Not everyone deserves the new version of you. Here is something symbolic about the next 7 days. You'll feel clarity like never before. You'll notice things others miss. That's because your discernment has been sharpened. Pain forged it. Betrayal sharpened it. And now it's your compass. The person who confessed didn't mean for the truth to reach you. But that's the irony of divine timing. What they feared the most has already happened. You know now. And what you do with that knowledge will determine what door opens next. Walk with grace. But don't shrink. This is your elevation moment. Your reward for surviving storms others tried to bury you in. Your crown is being placed not in secret, but in full view. They laughed when they thought they'd ruined your name. But now your name is being whispered in rooms of blessing because heaven moves different. They don't talk about you anymore the same way. Now they lower their voices. Now they choose their words with caution because your name has power and your presence reminds them of everything they tried to cover. That's why they flinch when you walk in. The confession is still spreading, not through drama, but through revelation. One by one, people are waking up. And you're not chasing justice. You're becoming it. There's a message coming soon. Written voice or face to face. It won't bring the closure you wanted. But it will bring the because after this you don't go back. You don't look back. You don't feel bad for being chosen. The betrayal tried to delay your destiny. But your destiny is faster than their lies. And it's catching up to you. Now you're not walking alone anymore. Archangel Michael stands beside you. Sword drawn, spirit strong. You are protected now in ways that fear can't touch. This new season will be loud with blessings, loud with confirmations, loud with peace. And those who tried to quiet your voice will now hear your name in ways they can't escape. Not because you're loud, but because truth echoes louder than anything else. You may be emotional when the final piece clicks into place. That's not weakness. It's release. Years of confusion melting into one moment of absolute truth. Stand still. Don't chase. Let it come to you. Because the last shall be first. The hidden shall be revealed, and the betrayed shall inherit double. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. What was once hidden in the shadows is now in the light. And the light cannot lie. Archangel Michael no longer weeps in sorrow, but stands in divine silence, watching the heavens prepare your next move. Everything that was whispered against you is now being reversed by a voice higher than all of them combined. You are no longer in the place they tried to keep you. They built a box around your name, thinking you'd shrink to fit their version of you. What? You outgrew that box with grace, with pain, and with an unshakable purpose. A confession wasn't meant to be heard by you. But the divine made sure it reached exactly where it needed to go. Because when destiny is on the line, nothing stays hidden. People are uncomfortable around you now. Not because you changed, but because they can no longer hide the truth. Your presence is their mirror, and that mirror reflects everything they denied. You'll begin to notice energy shifting in rooms you enter. Whispers will sob. People will stand straighter, speak less, watch more. That's because your spirit now carries justice. You're not just another person anymore. You're the living consequence of every lie told about you, and they feel it. There is someone right now reading your old messages, trying to remember the last thing they said before things broke, wishing they had spoken better, chosen differently, or simply stayed silent. But silence doesn't undo damage. It just delays the storm, and the storm they tried to avoid is now raining on their plans. The circle around them is shrinking. People who once clapped for their stories are starting to ask questions because the truth always leaves a trail. And you don't need to explain yourself. Your elevation speaks louder than any defense. They thought they silenced you, but what they didn't know is your silence has power. And now it's louder than their noise ever was. Archangel Michael says, do not return to places where your name had to fight for respect. Let them taste the absence of your loyalty. Let them feel the void that only your light used to fill. Someone they trusted is now standing up for you. The very one who was used to spread the lies is now tired of carrying the guilt, and they've begun correcting the story piece by piece. This shift is uncomfortable for them because they were once part of the damage. But the weight of your innocence is now reshaping their heart. Your story is being rewritten not by you but by those who tried to tear it apart. They are now the storytellers of your truth. And their words carry more weight than your own ever could. Because when the betrayer confesses, the world listens. And the world is now listening, watching, waiting, whispering your name in reverence. You will see signs in numbers, in dreams, in voices. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations that you are aligned with divine justice. The delays are done. Awaiting is over. Everything stolen is returning with force. There is no competition anymore. You won a race they didn't know they were running. Because your path was never about proving anything. It was about fulfilling destiny. Watch how people start shifting toward you. Not because they love you, but because they fear missing out on the favor they see around you. Discern wisely. You'll be invited to places you were once denied. Not because they changed, but because your power can no longer be ignored. Walk in like royalty. Because that's what you are now. They'll call it luck. They'll call it coincidence. But the truth is its divine reward. Every delay was preparation. Every betrayal was positioning. Every loss was a setup for this exact rise, and they know it. That's why they are uneasy, because they tried to break you, but instead they build your throne. There is a celebration happening in the spirit right now. Angels are rejoicing because your heart remained pure in the furnace. Archangel Michael no longer weeps. He watches over you with pride. He guards your name like a flame that cannot be put out. You will not return to smallness. You will not fold to the past. This is your time to walk like the storm you survive. A more hiding, a more explaining, a more thinking. What you carry now is too sacred for small spaces. Your truth is too loud for silent rooms. Your destiny is too big for those who chose gossip over grace. You are walking proof that betrayal cannot cancel blessing. You are proof that no lie lasts forever. And now you're unstoppable. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. This is the chapter where regret takes its place at their doorstep. The one who lied, who stirred the whispers, who painted you as something you were not, has come face to face with the aftermath of their confession. And the moment they feared the most is here. You know, they feel it in the air every time your name is mentioned now. There's a silence that follows, one too heavy to ignore, because those who once clapped for their stories are no longer clapping. Archangel Michael says their regret is not for the lie. They regret that the lie could not kill your light. They poured poison into your path, hoping to see you stumble. But instead, you danced through the fire, brighter than ever. Now they scroll through your life, silently, watching, regretting, realizing they lit a fire that ended up cleansing you, but burning them. You were never meant to be destroyed. You were meant to rise, and rise you did in front of everyone who doubted, betrayed and dismissed you. They regret underestimating your silence. Because while they were loud with accusation, you were quietly evolving, becoming ungible, becoming undeniable. They lost access to you when they chose ego over honesty. And now they want back in. But that door is sealed not out of anger, but out of growth. You've outgrown their version of the past. And you've stepped into the version of yourself that no longer needs validation. They regret creating the storm that became your spotlight. They didn't think you'd survive, but now they're watching you thrive, and it's seeding them inside. The same mouth that mocked you is now locked in shame. You're no longer haunted by the betrayal. You've used it as bricks beneath your feet. It became the foundation for your healing. There's a shift in how people speak your name. Now they speak it with hesitation, with caution, with a new level of respect. Because lies fade, but truth echoes forever. One of their close friends has stopped defending them. They heard the full confession and said nothing. But their silence is a form of justice. They no longer believe the false story. You're not just vindicated in spirit. You're vindicated in people's eyes. The reversal is so strong, even those who judged you are now questioning their loyalty. That's what happens when divine timing moves. You may receive messages that feel like attempts to reconnect, simple hellos, innocent check-ins, but make no mistake, they come from a place of not love. You don't owe them a second chance. They had the opportunity to stand for truth and chose lies. They regret that choice now, but that doesn't right the damage. You'll be in rooms where people once laughed about you. But this time, they'll go quiet, not out of guilt, but out of awe. Your glow is intimidating now. Not because it's loud, but because it survived fire. They themselves could not withstand. You are the one who rose when everyone bid against you. They regret that you never became bitter. They regret that you didn't retaliate. They regret that their lies gave birth to your becoming. Now they must live with that. They must walk through life knowing that their betrayal became your blessing and nothing they do can erase the role they played. The apology they are holding back isn't enough because you've outgrown the version of yourself that even needs it. What they can't handle is that your peace doesn't require their permission. They told others there'll be nothing without me. But now you're walking in more, living in more, becoming more than they ever imagined. And that image, it haunts them. Archangel Michael says, "This is your divine repayment. Every tear you cried was counted. And now every regret they feel is a seed of that justice returning." They wanted attention. They wanted control. But what they got instead was the guilt of losing someone irreplaceable. You were the real one, a loyal one, the one who would have fought for them. And they let that go for what? For control. For popularity, for power built on lies. Now they have none of it. Just a mirror showing them what they did and a timeline showing them who you became. You will walk by them one day or pass them online and their heart will drop because the moment they see your face, they'll remember everything. Not the lie they told, but the truth they tried to bury. And they'll remember it couldn't stay buried. You were covered in divine armor the whole time. Every attack was intercepted. Every setup became a setup for your elevation. Now the very people they gossiped with are curious about you. They want to know what makes you glow that way. And none of them have the answer because your glow was born in pain they never saw. Your strength was built in silence they never understood. Your rise is protected now. Your presence is sacred. They'll never have access again. Not because you're cruel, but because they were careless and heaven saw it all. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120. The moment their lies collapsed, something sacred opened in your life. Not just freedom from the past, but access to everything they tried to block. Your name, once smeared, is now glowing with divine endorsement. They thought your life would pose, that your joy would shrink under their falsehood. But instead, heaven multiplied everything in silence. Archangel Michael says, what they meant for your breakdown became the blueprint of your breakthrough. The pain they caused with the final push you needed to evolve. Now you're not just stronger, you're untouchable in spirit. Expect divine connections to begin appearing unforced, aligned, and authentic. People with pure intentions are on their way because your energy is no longer tied to betrayal. It's linked to blessing. You will enter spaces you once only dreamed of, not as a visitor, but as a rightful inhabitant. Your name will be spoken with reverence, not pity. The same people who ignored your value will now watch others celebrate it. They'll scroll in silence as you walk into opportunities they try to delay. Because when the divine opens a door, no human lie can close it. You are about to receive a gift not wrapped in paper but in timing. It's something you waited on, cried for, and nearly gave up believing in. The divine reward is not just physical. It's spiritual restoration. Your confidence is returning. Your creativity is flowing. Your peace is rising. And those who once doubted your worth will sit in the crowd as you shine. They'll cloud, not because they care, but because they must. Because your glow demands acknowledgement now. You'll see unexpected breakthroughs. A call you didn't expect. An opportunity you thought was lost. A door opening that was once locked by envy. A delay was never denial. It was protection. Heaven needed the wrong ones out before it could release the right ones in. You may have lost people, places, support, but what's coming next won't even compare. You'll look back and say it was worth it because it led you to the version of yourself you were always meant to be. Archangel Michael says, the ones who made you cry will now witness your celebration. This isn't about revenge. It's about divine remembrance. Heaven remembers everything, even when people pretend to forget. You will walk into rooms your name entered long before your feet did. People have already been speaking about you, and not in whispers but in admiration. They see your strength now. They feel your grace. You'll be offered platforms to share your truth, not out of bitterness but testimony. Because what you survived was meant to help others rise too. And your voice carries healing. Now your sleep will become deeper. Your mornings will become lighter because the spiritual war is over. You've won. You'll be contacted by someone from your past. But this time you won't feel the need to reply because closure came through clarity, not conversation. The divine reward is layered. It's not just one big moment. It's a series of alignments, back-to-back signs, confirmations, breakthroughs. You'll feel moments where you pause and ask, is this really happening? Yes, it is. Because your spirit finally made space for it. The chains they tried to place on your name have rusted. They hold no power now, only memory. And even that is fading. You're being positioned for a public win. It will come fast. It will come loud. And no one will be able to take credit for it. But the divine, their regrets as their burden. Now, your peace, that's your inheritance, and it's already being released into your life. This week, write your desires down because you are in a divine window where what you speak holds supernatural weight. Watch your words or attack your joy. Move in silence, but expect loudly. The divine reward will look different for everyone. For you, it may be a home, a healing, a person, a breakthrough. Whatever it is, you'll know when it arrives because it will feel like rest after a long war. The person who once spread rumors about you will hear your name not in gossip, but in success. In joy, in testimony, they'll say, I never thought they'd make it that far. But what they didn't know is you were carried the whole way, my angels, my purpose, my divine fire. Archangel Michael no longer cries. He now guards because your life is no longer in chaos. It's in calling. You are not returning to who you were. That version of you is gone. You are new. You're born. Elevate in. If you wish to express your support further,